Welcome everyone, and thank you for being here today. I'm excited to kick off this presentation on understanding our complex world. Today's focus is on exploring the connections between identity, intersectionality, cultural competence, and systemic change. We'll be diving into how these concepts shape our understanding of diversity and influence our efforts to create a more inclusive society. Over the next few slides, we'll cover key ideas and practical insights to help us navigate this important topic. Let's get started. Let's take a closer look at the different types of diversity. On this slide, we see two categories: invisible and visible diversity. Invisible diversity includes aspects like religion, class, sexual orientation, and neurodiversity. These are often not immediately visible, but are essential to understanding the full scope of human experience. Recognizing these differences helps us build more inclusive environments. On the other hand, visible diversity includes race, gender, age, and physical ability. These are aspects we can often see at a glance, but it's important to remember that each of these categories also contains a wide variety of individual experiences and identities. By 2040, the demographic landscape in the U.S. will change significantly. No single race will form a majority, which makes understanding and appreciating this diversity more urgent than ever. Diversity isn't just about race and gender. It spans a broad spectrum, including different work styles, social backgrounds, religions, ages, and abilities. So, when we talk about defining diversity, it's really about going beyond surface appearances. It's about recognizing the richness of human experience that shapes who we are and how we work together. This demographic evolution is not merely a statistical footnote. It is a call for psychologists, educators, and policymakers to deepen their understanding of diverse perspectives and lived experiences. America's racial composition is undergoing a historic shift. The Hispanic population is projected to nearly double, and the Asian population will more than double by 2050. This means our nation is becoming more diverse than ever before. By 2050, the demographic landscape will look quite different from today, with significant increases in these populations. It's important to recognize that these changes are not just numbers. They reflect real shifts in communities, cultures, and identities. Understanding these trends is crucial for creating inclusive policies, effective educational strategies, and mental health support systems that truly meet the needs of a changing America. As we consider these demographic shifts, it's clear that embracing diversity will be key to shaping a more equitable and understanding society. Let's talk about intersectionality, a concept coined by legal scholar Kimberlé Crenshaw. It highlights an important idea: race, gender, class, sexual orientation, and other aspects of our identities don't exist in isolation. Instead, they intersect and come together, shaping our unique experiences. These intersections can influence how we experience privilege and oppression. Recognizing this helps us understand that people's realities are complex, and that addressing inequality requires us to consider all these interconnected factors. This concept is central to the overall theme of understanding diversity and promoting equality in a more comprehensive way. When we think about redesigning choice architecture to reduce structural bias, it's important to recognize that solutions need to go beyond just targeting individual attitudes. Instead, we should focus on systemic interventions and policy reforms that can create more equitable environments from the ground up. At the same time, individual-level awareness and education are still valuable. They help us recognize our own biases and understand their impact. But the key point here is that bias isn't just a personal mindset. It's embedded deeply within hearing algorithms, institutional policies, and the decision-making frameworks we use daily. This brings us to what I like to call a more effective approach. Traditional diversity initiatives often focus solely on awareness training, trying to change personal attitudes. But the problem is, progress stalls when we leave the systemic structures untouched. Those embedded biases continue to shape outcomes. So why is focusing only on individuals falling short? Because systemic bias involves the rules, processes, and architectures that perpetuate inequality. To truly create change, we need systemic approaches, changing policies, redesigning decision-making processes, and adjusting the environments that influence behavior. Only then can we make meaningful progress toward equity. No single identity fully captures who we are. Instead, our identities overlap and intersect in complex ways. These intersections, such as race, gender, class, and orientation, don't exist in isolation. They come together to shape our personal experiences. They influence how we feel a sense of belonging or, conversely, how we might face exclusion. Understanding this concept of intersectionality is really key to grasping the full picture of human experience. It reminds us that people's lives are shaped by multiple factors that converge, and by recognizing these intersections, we can foster a more inclusive and empathetic environment. This connects directly to our overall theme of understanding diversity and building meaningful connections across different identities. Culturally competent practitioners understand that adapting their methods, language, and frameworks is essential to truly honoring each individual's unique background and worldview. It's about meeting people where they are and respecting their cultural context. When we look at applied practice, we see that about 14% of the U.S. population speaks a language other than English at home. This highlights how vital effective communication across language barriers is. It's not just a nice to have, but a necessity. Linguistic competence involves developing behaviors that incorporate knowledge, attitudes, and beliefs from diverse populations. It's about creating interactions that are not only meaningful, but also respectful and culturally sensitive. Cultural competence, on the other hand, is about building that awareness and skill set that allows us to navigate cultural differences thoughtfully and effectively. In practice, this means being intentional, integrating what we know about different cultures into our work, and ensuring our interactions are respectful and genuine. As we explore this chapter, remember that developing cultural and linguistic competence isn't a one-time effort. It's an ongoing process that enhances our ability to serve everyone with dignity and understanding. Now, let's take a closer look at the various aspects that shape who we are. When we talk about gender, we're referring to the social and cultural roles associated with being male, female, or other identities. National origin highlights the country or region where someone comes from, which influences language, customs, and worldview. Indigenous heritage points to the original inhabitants of a land, carrying unique cultural practices and perspectives. Sexual orientation pertains to whom someone is attracted to, which is an important part of their identity. Socioeconomic class involves the economic and social position someone holds, affecting opportunities and experiences. Ethnic identity relates to shared cultural, linguistic, or ancestral roots that connect individuals to a larger community. Religion and spirituality encompass beliefs and practices related to understanding existence and seeking purpose, often shaping values and behaviors. Disabilities, whether physical or mental, can influence how individuals navigate the world and access resources. Age and generation reflect the time period someone was born into, bringing specific attitudes and life experiences. All of these factors create a comprehensive lens, what we call the addressing framework, that helps us understand the complex, multifaceted influences on a person's worldview, their sense of self, and their experiences. Recognizing this diversity is essential to fostering understanding and empathy in our interactions. It reminds us that each person's identity is a rich tapestry woven from many different threads. As we move to slide 9, let's reflect on the powerful idea that language truly shapes our reality. When we adopt respectful and affirming terminology, we're actively creating environments where everyone feels seen and valued. This is about more than just words. It's about fostering inclusivity in every interaction. Championing inclusive language means intentionally choosing words that respect all identities and experiences. By doing so, we help build spaces where diversity is recognized and celebrated. Next, integrating equity, diversity, and inclusion, or EDI, into our work is essential. Whether we're practicing clinically, conducting research, or shaping public policy, EDI principles should be woven into every domain. This ensures our efforts are equitable and representative of all voices. Finally, challenging Eurocentric frameworks and centering underrepresented voices is crucial. Decolonizing psychological science involves questioning dominant paradigms and amplifying diverse perspectives. This helps us develop a more comprehensive understanding of human experience. All these steps connect back to our core theme. Psychology's role extends beyond the lab or clinic. It's about impacting society and making it more just and inclusive. When we connect personal awareness to structural reform, we open the door to creating truly inclusive environments. Psychologists have a vital role here. By understanding ourselves and recognizing systemic issues, we can help shape changes that benefit everyone. This isn't just about fairness. It's about advancing a science that genuinely serves all of humanity, not just a select few. Now, bridging individual and systemic change is crucial. Embracing diversity isn't just the right thing to do morally, it's a scientific necessity. When we include diverse perspectives, we produce more accurate, comprehensive, and universally applicable psychological knowledge. That's how we strengthen our field and ensure our research and practices reflect the full spectrum of human experience. This leads us to an ethical imperative. As psychologists, we have an obligation to promote diversity and inclusion because it directly impacts the integrity and relevance of our work. Looking ahead, the future of diversity in psychology is a call to action. We must actively engage in this process, continually pushing for reforms and embracing diversity as essential to our mission. It's about building a more equitable, effective science that truly benefits everyone. So, as we conclude, I encourage you all to see this not just as an ideal, but as a necessary step forward for our profession and for society as a whole.